morning, kids. Thank you so much for getting up this morning and for deciding to come to church with us on TV. And last week it was so exciting. I saw videos of so many of you guys singing along with me. I saw kids singing This Little Light of Mine with me, and we had lots of people say their Bible verse. And I listened to those, and those were wonderful, and we'll do the drawing for that at the end of our story today. But we're going to start off with some songs, so I want everyone to go ahead and stand up. Good job. Let's stretch and get some movements out. We are going to do some action songs today, so I want you to make sure you're doing it along with me. Ready? We are going to start off by singing If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands. All right, everyone stand up. Everyone ready? Get those hands ready. All right. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Good job. Now we're going to move on to our feet, all right? We're going to stomp our feet. Everyone get their feet ready. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Great job. All right, now we're going to add say amen. And when we say amen, I want you to go amen, just like that. All right, everyone get ready. If you're happy and you know it, say amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, say amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, say amen. Amen. Great job. You think we can do all three of them? Let's try it. Get your hands ready and your feet ready and get that amen ready. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, do all three. Clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Amen. Great job, guys. Good job. Great participating. All right, so we're going to get ready for our story, so I need everyone to sit down. I need you to take your hands and fold them in your laps, just like we do at church. Sit up nice and straight and tall, because today we're going to have a story about a dolphin. Do you like dolphins? Dolphins are one of my favorite animals. Do you know what another name for a dolphin is? Do you know what they call them sometimes? They call them porpoises. Isn't that a funny name? Porpoise. Well, our story today is going to be about a porpoise, or a dolphin, and his name is Purpose. So it's Purpose the porpoise. So I might get a little tongue-tied when I'm trying to tell the story today. Try to say it at home really quick. Purpose the porpoise. That's hard to say. But this is a story about a dolphin. We'll just say dolphin because that's much easier to say. About a dolphin who didn't listen to his mom. And he decided to listen to his friends and do what he wasn't supposed to do instead of listening to his mom. Have you ever done that? That's called bad peer pressure, when you listen to your friends instead of your authorities. But that's what our story is going to be about today. Purpose the porpoise. So go ahead and sit up nice and straight and tall. And we're going to start our story right now. The big, great white shark tossed Purpose the porpoise with ease. Purpose sailed through the water into the sun-brightened sky. Why had Purpose not listened to his parents? They taught him to do everything on purpose and to please God. He was named after a man of God who had purposed in his life to do right. Purpose had purposed to faithfully obey God. He had determined he would honor his parents by always doing what was right. But this time, it was different. Why had he given in to the other dolphins? Purpose's parents had always told him not to swim in certain waters. He had always obeyed. He knew better. The other dolphins had called him a chicken. They made clucking sounds and said he was a mama's baby. It was always hard to please God. Was it always hard to please God? He knew it was dangerous to swim where the great white sharks fed, and he had promised his parents that he would stay away from this area. Oh no, would he ever get out of this mess alive? Purpose regained his balance, but his head was still spinning. What should he do? He ached where the shark had bitten him, and blood was slowly oozing out. Just then, Purpose heard a still, small voice telling him to flee to the rock tower. His parents had always told him that safety was in the tower. Now, which direction was the tower? Slowly, his mind cleared, and he saw where he was. Swimming as hard as he could, he knew with a great effort he could make it to the tower. But suddenly, he was struck by a sharp blow to his stomach. Again, he went sailing through the air like an acrobat. He tried to continue the flip and land nose first in the water, but he was off balance and he hit the water hard on his side. A fierce stinging pain ripped through his body, and he had lost all his strength to swim and escape. He floated in the water lifeless. His foggy mind would not clear. Purpose had no sense of direction, and the great white shark had just been playing with him. He was about ready to come in for the kill. It doesn't look good for Purpose. He swam in those waters when he wasn't supposed to. Let's see if he can get out of this. From out of nowhere, Purpose glimpsed movement in the dark waters. Oh no, there must be two great white sharks now. They were both coming for him. There was no hope for Purpose. Would someone tell his parents that he was sorry for not obeying them? Purpose looked at the movement in the water. It was coming at him full speed. His short life would soon be over in just moments. Preparing for another impact, Purpose closed his eyes. When the impact did not happen, he squinted his eyes to look again. It was not a great white shark. It was another dolphin. Then he saw clearly that it was just not any dolphin. It was his mother. Purpose's mother was not swimming towards Purpose, but rather towards the great white shark. Although Purpose's mother was much larger than he was, she was certainly just a play toy for a great white shark. Now it looks like maybe they're both going to be in trouble, Purpose and his mother. The mother dolphin swam straight at the eye of the great white. The great white flicked his head, and the mother porpoise went sailing through the waters. Purpose floated in horror. Paralyzed with fear, he thought of his safety. What had his parents taught him? Get to safety first. But what if the great white shark attacked his mother? She had come to rescue him, so he must try to rescue her. What could he do? He was still small to fight the shark, but he remembered his mother telling him about a little boy that beat a giant with only a sling. This boy had asked God to help him. Do you remember what boy that was in the Bible that beat a giant with just a sling? You're right, it was David. The boy had asked God to help him, and perhaps that's what Purpose needed to do. Purpose knew he must trust God, for that he was the only way he could defeat this great white shark. Slowly, Purpose began to swim towards the great white. A plan was beginning to form in his mind. He made his squealing vocal sound a few times. Purpose would come up from underneath the great white shark and attack from behind. If he stayed behind and moved with the big shark, he might be able to make a successful attack. He must stay out of sight of the shark, though. Purpose ached all over. He did not feel like doing anything, much less attacking a great white shark. But Purpose kept his focus. His mother needed his help, and he must be brave. He remembered the story of his namesake. He was brave enough to stand for the Lord and go into the lion's den. He must be brave. Do you remember who that story was about? Who went into the lion's den? That's right. That was Daniel. Good job. Bravery comes from God, and he would need all of God's help. What if the shark saw him coming? Things could not get any worse. But if God made blind eyes see, maybe he would make seeing eyes blind. Purpose made his squealing communication once again. He began to swim slowly at first. He swam in behind the great white. He was far, far behind him. Could Purpose catch and distract the shark before he attacked his mother? Purpose knew that every sense of the shark would be very keen. The shark flopped his head back and forth. His nose took in every smell of the ocean, and Purpose knew that the shark had his mother's scent and would quickly have his as well. The shark could turn any moment. As the shark fish-tailed through the water, Purpose had to stay out of sight and leave no scent, but this was all but impossible because his blood still oozed out of his wound. Purpose was concerned that the other sharks would soon be drawn by the scent of blood. That's true. Sharks like that smell of blood, and Purpose is hurt. The great white was bearing down on Purpose's mother. Purpose had to distract him, and quickly. He must risk being seen to help his mother, or it would be too late. After all, this whole incident was his fault. Why did he not realize that his wrong actions would affect others? He could not let his mother suffer because of him. He would not. He let out a squeal and swam straight at the shark. The great white circled to the right. Purpose's mother was no longer in sight. If the great white would stay after Purpose, his mother would be safe. Could she reach the rock tower? Was she hurt badly? Purpose had to give her plenty of time. One blow from the great white can break many bones in a dolphin. Just then, the murky waters caused Purpose to lose sight of the shark. Where was that great white shark? Purpose headed in the direction he had last seen the shark. Purpose knew he must stay fully alert. He was still losing blood. Other sharks would be drawn to the scent of his blood by now. Stay alert, Purpose repeated to himself. Every sense in his young body was tingling. Then he remembered the teaching of his parents about using Bible verses to battle fear. Perhaps he should have paid more attention. What was that verse his parents had taught him about fear? Something about what time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Purpose purposed to give everything to God and to trust him. Suddenly, Purpose realized that he was under the big shark. Was he too late? Could he still help his mother? The great white shark sat still, barely moving his tail. He seemed to have a mischievous grin on his face. Purpose thought he saw the shark's eyes roll towards him. The shark could swallow Purpose in one gulp. If the shark had only been playing with him earlier when he tossed him in the air, the scent of the blood would no doubt have him ready to eat by now. Purpose had only one thought. He would do to the shark what the shark had done to him. Purpose sank deeper and deeper under the big shark. Suddenly, pointing his nose upward, Purpose began to swim. He must swim like a torpedo and hit the shark in his abdomen and hope he was big enough to make the shark chase him. Purpose looked around before starting to swim. Where was his mother? He could only hope she was safe. Purpose was gliding through the water as fast as he could go. He squealed once, hoping his plan would work. Then he saw the most miraculous sight. 4 other dolphins were heading in his direction. They all thought of the same plan. 2 would come from each side, and with Purpose on the other side, they might just distract the shark long enough for all to get to safety. It was a daring plan, but Purpose had to help his mom get to safety. What if she was hurt? Could she make it to the rock tower? What if she was bleeding and the other sharks had her scent? Too many questions were flooding Purpose's mind. He had to hit the shark and hurt him if he could. Like lightning, the team of dolphins struck the great white from all directions. 3 additional dolphins had joined the team. They came swarming down from the top. This made a total of 8 porpoises. Although the dolphins had the numerical advantage, they were still no match for a huge shark. The great white only had to flip his quick tail or bend his massive head, striking the porpoises a lethal blow. The immense shark was not annoyed by the pesky porpoises. The shark turned quickly, facing the much smaller animals. What should they do? "Spread and squeal," said Porpoise suddenly. All the porpoises did just that. It seemed to take the giant shark by surprise, and he hesitated. And when he did, the porpoises swam for the safety of the rock tower. Purpose was the last to enter the rock tower. He noticed immediately the others gathered to the side. "Thanks, guys," said Purpose. "I learned a great lesson. If you really care about someone, you'll get them to do what's right, not do what's wrong. I followed others instead of setting the right example, and as a result," Purpose's voice trailed off. He noticed that all the dolphins were looking at something behind him. Purpose turned to see his mother. He noticed she had a long gash on her side, and she was breathing very hard. She must have some broken ribs. "In time I'll heal," she softly spoke. "But remember, Purpose, your namesake Daniel purposed to do what was right, and we always want you to follow his example. I want all of you to purpose and stay faithful and you'll never have regrets. Remember, our actions do affect those around us. Purpose snuggled up to his mother and sweetly proclaimed, "Yes, ma'am." Well, that was exciting. I didn't know if Purpose was going to get away from that shark at first. But you know what? If he had listened to his parents from the very beginning, he would have never been in that situation. Sometimes we decide to listen to our friends instead of our parents and those in authority with us, and that never leads to a good situation. And that's going to take us to our Bible verse for today. In just a moment, we're going to have the drawing to see who's going to get some special mail for saying their verse for last week. But I want to read this week's verse. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. This verse says, "Be not deceived," that means don't be tricked. "Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners." That verse is saying don't be tricked. Evil communications, that means bad friends, will corrupt good manners. That means the good things that you're supposed to be doing. So I'll read it one more time. 1 Corinthians 15:33. "Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners." And if you learn that verse this week, say it to your parents. They'll take a little video of you and they'll send it to me. You can, if you don't want it to be on the internet, that's fine. You can just personally send it to me. But if you'd like everyone to be able to learn this verse along with your children, you can post a little video clip. We'll have a place that you can do that on our church Facebook page. And then everyone who does it will get their name put in a drawing, and someone will receive some special mail today. Last week, Connor Eichenberg, I heard you say your verse. You did a great job. Dane did a great job. I saw Braden, he said it. His mom sent me a video, and Kylie Metcalf. Holly, I saw you say it. Great job. And Shannon and Bruce, we had a lot of kids say it last week. And so one of these kids is going to get some happy mail this week. And I've put all of your names in my little M&M jar. You hear it in there? All your names are in there. And so I'm going to pick one name, and that person gets to get something very special in the mail this week. So let's see who it is. Let's spin them all around. They're all folded up, and I can't see who's who. All right, I've got a name. Let's see who's going to get some happy mail for saying their verse this week. Braden, good job. Great job saying your verse, and you are going to get something very special in the mail this week, so be watching it. I love to get mail, especially gifts and packages, so that will be very exciting for Braden. For this week, make sure you'll have until Friday night to say it, to say your verse and to get it to me, and then we'll do another drawing next week. Thank you, kids, so much for listening so well to that story about Purpose the Porpoise. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.